Right,
Right.
this went incredibly well. We got there in the end.
So, Toby, which big
I'm
drivers
just
in
gonna eat a
this drivers'
second. Give me,
championship? Oh,
give me a
oh,
minute.
right. Um, well, let me take over. Let me take over. Cormac and DJ Perk on that outlap. Quite a few reserves for this race. If I can just quickly, if you give me a moment as well. I get up the standings. Toppy spun last week at Monaco. That was a huge race. Caused Shuey and Brand to get race bans. And I mean, with half the lobby practically crashing out, including Toppy. I mean, huge for the drivers' standings. As Benz Yaxo is at the top of the drivers' standings. I'm really failing to get the standings overall. There we go. Right. Oh, that's yep. Benz Yaxo 126 points compared to Toppy's 103, and then below him, BRT Jacob, Matt Hopper, and Rares all in the 60s. Just well, I say just below, quite far below. Looks like Cormac is first out on an actual lap. If Posselman 11 would be brilliant and change his camera to Cormac. Wait to get this stuff up as well.
You're welcome.
Oh wow, this guy's an icon.
What can I say? Actually, what can I say? I don't know.
Yeah. He's too busy eating. BRT Jacob is the only driver on the mediums. Cormac spins. Cormac spins at the long hairpin. You can't see way. Right, who's actually on a lap? DJ Perks is on a lap, and he's doing a lot better than Cormac was. But he's wasting the ERS. He's wasting the ERS. Terrible. Doesn't look like it's invalidated. Now a lot of people are finishing their outlaps and are beginning to start their laps that probably will mostly be banker laps, just so they get a time in, just so they get ahead of a couple of people that might be starting at the back. I know Shu and Brown normally do, but they are not here today. DJ Perks, he gets the fastest. He gets the first lap. 1 minute 25.456. Lovely bit of lovely numbers there. And if you look further back, you will see. Is anyone? Korkamalakis gets a lap time of 1:27.6, so a couple of seconds off of DJ Perks, but that can be expected as the reserve is a very good driver. And Brandon now gets his lap 1:26.7, slots right in between them. Well, if we look,
we have a spinner at Stowe, Chasmeister, in the McLaren. He was getting to the third sector of his lap, and it's just a mistake. Cut that one short, so he's going to have to dive back into the pits and regather his composure and go again.
Well,
up to line HBE,
like
he's in
has eaten
24th
quickly.
position. And I do wonder if I'm muted. Well, I'm not muted.
No, you're not muted. You're not muted. No.
Provisional pole for Benziak, so he moves 2/10 or so clear of the current second fastest time. As I try and figure out how to get to come up, there we go. We ran along with Ducky Motorsport in the Haas. He was.
I'm not superstitious, but in the long football history of F1,
Oh dearie me. just managed to throw my controller. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Yeah, there we go. Have returned. I managed to throw my controller. Quite far.
I just realised I tried to take over from you, and then I was muted the whole time. Well,
Well, we've had a good showing
good
from us
start.
there.
Good start.
I literally was in the middle of saying something, and I've just absolutely, my controller just went across the room.
Yeah, and then I
Shut
tried
up.
to take over from you. I said, I think you're muted, but I'll try and take over now. And then I've sat there. The stream will literally just be about a minute and a half of silence.
Yep. Lovely.
Brilliant.
Oh, BLT Jacob once again going for that first run on medium tyres. It's an interesting strategy. I'm not 100% sure how effective it is necessarily, but I suppose if he wants a fresh set of softs, which you don't usually need for a lot of rounds in this game, but
In the
why have I
constructors, it's
been
very
sent
close.
some
Ferrari are clear in the constructors, though. 168 points compared to the next place, AlphaTauri's 104, which is, I'm pretty sure, all Toppy. Oh, all but 1 point for Toppy. Where's the point then?
Huh?
AlphaTauri have 104 points. Toppy has 103 points.
High caliber, does he not have a point?
Well,
No.
I can't see that.
Um,
No, I don't think he does. Interesting.
That's a good point.
Interesting. Good point. Right. Anyway.
Well, yeah.
Feds, yeah. So
Who could have been?
is on pole right now.
Pixel, maybe.
I mean, there's probably a reserve that
Does he have a
reserved for
point? He
them.
doesn't.
There's probably a reserve that's got a reserve for.
Hugo, maybe. Hugo would make sense.
Yeah, because he's got 4 points. And most
So
of
maybe
them.
one of them was. But anyway, I digress. We see a bit of got a bit close there on the straight. Toppy on an outlap, and I believe that's Hugo on a flyer. He's yet to set a time, and he will do so as he heads out of the final corner. And up to the line he goes, standing in for Bram or Shuey, whichever one you fancy pretending he's standing in for, because of course the other is the other car being taken up by Sir with Face. He's had a couple of good rounds when he's reserved, so
Not bad
we know what to
reserves.
expect from him.
Not bad reserves to have at all.
Oh yeah, as far as reserves come, he's one of the fastest there, and you could say the same about DJ Perks and the Aston Martin. He's of course reserving for Mercedes Academy, and also if there's someone else that I'm not 100, I should mention. I think Cormac's a reserve. I'm not sure. No, he is a main because somebody got sacked or was
I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
sacked by their own choice. Toppy's out, that's to be expected. He starts from the back.
He's had a mare of a qualifying. Terrible, terrible driver.
Luigi with a purple first sector, it says. How much I believe that, not too sure. Not because I think Luigi's not capable of it, because it's lied to me in the past numerous times. But anyway, we'll watch him for the remainder of this lap, as actually maybe not, because, or maybe we will.
Make up your mind, man.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm looking at the options out there, and there's a couple of people on laps. Wait, is Bent's on a lap?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he is. Right at the
He's
start. Oh, Juarez though.
yeah, we'll go back to
Juarez though.
cut back to Luigi
Oh.
as he heads into the club. I think. I mean, my Silverstone geography's rusty at best, so I think that's somewhere there. Good stuff. Up to the line. P12 for. And that's provisional pole for Cormac by a solid amount, 4/10 almost. So early signs that Ben Siaxo isn't going to have that first position to himself, given that Toppy starts from the back, and could be a good little fight at the front as
Rares gets second.
Reddy Rares takes second position
Told you we should have looked at it.
already.
Should have looked at
Oh,
that.
I'm trying to. Where's Fozzie?
Pence is about to
Fozzie's there.
finish his
Right,
lap.
Well, oh, Fozzie's in a invalid lap.
Oh, Ben's not going to beat
Never
his lap.
mind.
Oh, he did actually, yeah. Shaved a tenth off of his best lap, but not good enough
Bent's
to beat
now.
Cormac.
Bent's ahead of Rares by 1,000th of a second. Fair enough. I mean, that will that be the difference? They've got one more run, at least, between the two of them. So you never know. It may come down to it. I doubt that'll be the case. I suppose it's worth noting as well. HBE reserve. He's not. Is he reserving? I'm not 100% sure.
Again,
what the
your
deal is
assistant
between him
will
and
check.
ST. But either way, he is here today in the Mercedes car, and I suppose you could expect a decent performance from the man currently sitting 11th. Maybe 11th isn't necessarily where he'd want to be, but when you look at the order, you realise how stacked that top group is. That really 11th is respectable, well, more than
Yeah.
respectable.
Especially for a
Of course,
reserve.
Brandon's a pole position. He's had a pole position this season. He's down in 12th as it stands. So, and he's actually here for once. So Alfa Romeo can be happy about that. But I suppose there's another team that can be happy. McLaren. They picked up their first points at Monaco last weekend. Chaz Meister bringing home, I think it was 7th position, possibly 6th after penalties, but I'm not sure. I think it might have been 7th. So there's a good solid haul of points for McLaren. It brings them off the bottom of the table, I think.
Again,
But it is a close fight at the bottom,
they are at the bottom.
and admittedly
but
it's
it is very close.
probably
Yeah.
a
9 for Haas, 9 for Aston Martin, 6 for McLaren. Mercedes all
No, so
on
not
their
far
own
off the bottom.
in 7th with 36 points, and
yeah,
then there's a
Mercedes
ton of
with
teams
like
with
36.
there's a ton of teams just ahead. Second to 6th
Yeah,
is
ahead of the
separated by
bottom
20
group.
points. So it's really all to
There
play
is
for.
a real fight brewing in the constructors, and of course teams that are up there. Ferrari currently leading the way
By a
I
mile.
assume.
Yes. By 60
then-
points.
Yeah, so really Toppy is.
Good
He's
work,
got a lot
Kyle.
to make up in the drivers, but also he has been hauling the constructors along for Alpha Tauri. But then here's Fozzie, who again, this is a invalid lap for Fozzie. You wonder how much he's got in the tank, because he should be, you would hope, right up there at the, in the upper echelons of this qualifying session, given his history in the league. But hey, things coming out of a rather large, shall we say, absence from this league. I don't know how much he's necessarily raced recently, but maybe it's starting to show a little bit of rustiness. He's not quite been able to set a lap time as it stands, but everyone, I think, pretty much heading in to the pits to get ready for a final lap. Apart from Kosai, currently on a flyer, he's 8/10ths off of provisional pole, and he wants to be up there. Word, shall we say, we heard from the media, also known as him talking to me, saying that he's aiming to be up there for a podium is the aim for Kosai today, and it does look like, given how, let's just see, a couple of antics, shall we say, to get out of the way of people on flying laps. It's
Kosai
gonna be a
has had
very,
an interesting
very tough fight.
season so far. I mean, to the race he's turned up, he's really had been involved in a couple of incidents, spun out at key moments. And then last week, obviously,
there's a couple of
I
points
think
where
they
he's
were
not
his
helped
first
himself.
points. Yeah, Kosai last week was his first points, and he really could have got quite a few more, if I'm not mistaken. But there was an incident with an unnamed Red Bull driver slamming into the back of him.
With an unnamed Shui.
Wow, I wasn't going to name drop like that, but sure.
Ooh. Well, anyway. HBE, currently the only man far enough into the lap on a flying lap for it to be worth following him. But that is invalid for HBE. And behind them, there is a gaggle of cars currently heading through Max Beckett, so I've got to figure out who heads that group. Monkey's on an out lap. And there's a Ferrari, I think, also. Where's that? Yeah, there's a Ferrari on an out lap. Or an in lap, I'm not sure. An out lap. And I think, is that Kosai in the middle of it? Yeah, so. But HB's retired. Smithy's also retired.
What's
So what's
happened
happened
there?
here then? Is there contact somewhere, maybe?
I don't know.
Is Smithy on the track? No, no one's stopped on track, or is it?
There is a blue fella.
There is a
Middle
blue-
of sector
Matt's
3.
retired.
What is going on?
How come Matt's retired as well? He was stopped on track, I think, maybe.
Checking the sources real quick.
Have we got any issues? Technical, yeah, technical stuff.
Oh, so it's the Possum Man hosted server. So I don't think there are two there. There's
I'm
nothing.
not sure.
No.
It's an interesting
I'll
turn of
have a
events.
look. You continue with the brilliant commentary.
Oh, why? Thank you. As I attempt to check my own messages and see what's occurred. But anyway, on a flying lap currently, Cormac comes down into this final section of Silverstone and out of the final corner. Is he in an improvement? I'm not sure. Up to the line, no. But it's a fraction that he can't improve by. I think, is this a fast lap? No. So DJ isn't on a fast lap. Cormac retires. Interesting.
Bosney just needs to get a lap.
Chaz retires. Bence retires. What's going on?
My sources are silent on this one so far.
So it's just been a load of mistakes.
There is a what do you call it? A team leader. That's terrible. That's not the word. What is it? A team manager, constructor manager. That is also watching
Nevertheless,
and is also confused.
BRT Jacob, he is half a second off of provisional pole. Well, I say provisional pole, it would be pole position as it stands. There's a lot of drivers in the pits, and a lot of drivers DNF'd, so I'm really not sure what the deal is here, but is it wrapped off yet for Cormac? Or does Jacob have something to say about it? As he crosses the line, it's third position for the Alpine. And that is all she wrote for this qualifying session. Fozzie without a representative time.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed.
But yeah, that's a strange one. Does seem like maybe it wasn't a...
Very interesting. Well, Mercedes 11-12. They're looking to be quite a bit higher than that in the race. However, Alpine in pole position in Cormac, that is going to do all sorts of good in the constructors if he can. Oh, well, I didn't realise it's an Alpine 1-3. Alpine podium right now. And if I check again at the standings, I know Alpine are up there, but
Our sources say that it was just a case of there was a slight threat of rain, and that was why everyone seemed to go out early before the checkered flag fell, and then just decided to retire on track afterwards when they thought that there was no...
Fair enough.
So I suppose it makes sense, but
Yeah,
And
Alpine.
obviously, we can't see weather, or if we can, I've not figured
Yeah.
out a way of looking at it. So
Terrible, honestly. But yeah,
wasn't
as
something that
I was going to
really
say,
came to.
Alpine won 3, and the constructors they're 4th. I mean, it's so close though. Like this race could really be the difference. If you've got, I mean, it's a full grid, right? It is a full grid. If you've say got a reserve, and then one of the main drivers has a bit of a poor showing, doesn't get in the points, could be devastating because it could leave you about 20 points off of the teams around you, and then the teams above you in the end could drop you a couple of positions, and then you're out of the race for second. So this race, I mean, after this, only 3 more rounds to go. Race could be huge. Could be a turning point for some teams and for some drivers as well. Just waiting for the race to begin. Hopefully, there won't be no spins. Terrible. I mean, the drivers, the drivers, the driver. What do you call it? The drivers, the race for the drivers. Anyway, what's man? We'll bring this. We'll bring the commentary to you right now. The race is about to start.
2-6, Ted. Oh, bit of a bit eager off the line at the back there was Toppy. He got a little bit out of shape off in 20th position, but as they head through turn 1, there's big contact and a couple of drives already around. Kosai in the
Poppy.
melee of BRT Jacob as well, so there's contact between those two. They're already way down the order off the start, and I've not got any of the telemetry or lap data up, so we'll do that quickly now. And we are running on with Cormac, who maintains first position. Bent's now in second with Raras behind him. DJ to 4th position. Behind them, I think a couple of people already up the order. Fozzie's made a lot of ground already, although there's a couple of instances further back that would have helped him along. He's up to 10th as it stands, going around the outside of Hugo, and maybe HBE could capitalise from that as well. Hugo getting a bit bogged down at Brooklands, or I think that's Brooklands, it might be Luffield. Either way, they might be the same thing. But there's a bit of a fight going on. Hugo getting a tap there with a wheel of HBE, and he's got to sit back down in 12th position. And there's contact ahead of them, so Fozzie's around as well. You can see it happening a mile off, I think, there. A couple of people side by side into Maggots, and then Beckett's does not go. Matt down to 14th. He had an incident as well that we didn't see. Toppy only up to 15th. I don't know if he got caught up in some of the contact. As I think Luigi's off. Luigi's off at Stowe, and I think contact with Sheehan maybe, or just synchronised spinning. But it's been a terrible start to the race for a whole manner of reasons. And there's Matt's now into the pits off lap 1 with, you'd assume, wing damage. He
was on the hard as
combo.
well. Yeah, that's going to be awful for him. But Cormac, 1.3 seconds away from Bent, and we know how good Bent is. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if Toppy's, I mean, he's worked his way up to 12th, but if Toppy's not in that fight for podiums right now, Bent will happily take second, because I mean, he's got a good advantage on Toppy in the drivers. And if he loses a couple of points, I mean, he should gain points on Toppy this race, you'd assume. But the race are running out for Toppy to get back that top spot.
That's currently 11th position for Monkey in the McLaren. I think there's a penalty already for Jacob, so he's looking to get back to the front in this race, and that's not his best way to start things off. 3-second penalty. I think they will come rather often, I think, in this race. But to have one so early doesn't help. I think, is he pit, or is there maybe a spin at? So he's sputtered. No front wing for Jacob. And of course, Matt being so far back after having pit, it's currently a 4-5 for the Astons, and they're fighting as well. Because I don't think Smithy's a Mercedes reserve, so he's got no team order to sit behind DJ, and of course he's on the soft compound. He's just going to waltz past him, and he has done. But now it's a case of how far can he get away before the soft tyres start to fall off, which is always very quickly. Down the inside goes Rares. Has he kept it? Maybe. Bence has the inside though now. As with retirement, Jacob's already given up. He's figured that this is too tall of a mountain to climb. But Bence maintains that position as they head up into down the old pit straight, or even the pit straight for any supporter series that isn't F1. But all those drivers that look like they gained off as well. I say Fozzie looked like he gained so much off the start, and then already there was an incident that came on. Another fighting between teammates here as Surface gets past Hugo, but I think that will be a bit more decorum between the two of them. They know that not to fight each other because they are in the same academy. But behind Hugo, Korkamakis is getting closer, and also behind them, Toppy looks to the inside, and Korkamakis doesn't defend it because he knows that the faster car is going through and there's not a lot that can be done. Toppy's just going to side through this grid, and really they're best off just following them through.
I mean, it's really split between the Alpines, the 1-3 start to now Cormac, who's kept his lead, and BRT Jacob, who has DNF and finished last. Well, doesn't finish last, ends up last. Not ideal start for the Alpines, but Cormac will be happy.
Well, Cormac will be very happy. It's been pretty simple for him so far, but you do wonder if there's a point where he realises that he might have mudded himself ever so slightly, because he's on the softs, and behind him you've got Rares on the mediums, Bence on the hards, and Bence is stuck with him. Bence is still within DRS range of Rares, whether or not, he still will be, because 6 tenths, I doubt he'd lose that much. But there's a point where Cormac starts to fall off in performance, and that's going to happen a lot quicker than it will to Rares, and then of course Bence is in an even better position with the hardest compound available. He can go much longer than the two of them, and if he can stick with them and get towed along in DRS, that's only going to help him more.
Ryden looks like he
Same
might get
concept
the
of
move.
DJ Perks. He's on the hard compound. He's just looking to tow behind his teammate on the softs for as long enough that it
He
suits
holds
him,
off.
and then he'll take the position back. Seems simple enough an idea for him. Further back, I think there might be a fight brewing here as Kosai looks to get a position off of Fozzie. He's close enough, but he's also not got the tyre compound to aid his improvement in this race.
I don't know how close
Fozzie
it
as
is
well,
to the top.
having
At the
fallen
top,
foul to incidents immediately, and
Rares
it's
now
been a
has
terrible
DRS.
start for the Williams
Rares
pairing.
is going to move to the inside here for the top spot provisionally. Well, I say
Almost.
top spot in the race. He gets the position, he gets the move done, and he just slots in front of Cormac. I mean, he has no ERS left really compared to Cormac, but he's got the position. Big movement
And that is
further back as
crucial
well.
because Cormac's going to be kicking himself for that one. He needs to be making his advantage count, because in a couple of laps time he will have no advantage, and he's always pushing the Alfa Romeo through the set of corners right up his gearbox. As I say, Bentiaxo is just going to sit behind and watch it all play out.
Big points for Aston Martin
Because
could be
play
available
out
here.
it will. Up the outside goes Cormac, and he's got the grip, maybe, but does he have the space? He does. It's a position gain for Cormac, but is there maybe a response from Rares? Doesn't seem so. And behind, DJ Perks has got the position off of Smithy. Smithy makes a mistake and gets a 3-second penalty for his track limits excursion. But I think there was a mistake further back from Luigi, because he's just lost a whole host of positions. I'm not
There's a lot of
entirely
battling
sure why,
mid-pack.
but he's looking at the inside of Toppy.
Yeah, that mid pack is so close together.
Something's just waiting to happen here. Korkanakis is right on the back of Monkey D-Brand. Is there a move to the inside? I think so. Double move, maybe. Toppy, there's a crash. Toppy is spun around. I think it was very ambitious for Toppy to go for that space. It wasn't really there. Sheehan looking to make a couple of positions up here though. He goes around the outside of Luigi. He has the space, but now he's boxed in. There's a
Cormac goes
McLaren
for a
ahead
move
of
on
Monkey
Rares.
D. Brown, who got caught up in that instant. But is there a possibility to go up the inside here?
He holds off.
I mean,
though.
Monkey D. Brown breaks later, but Korkamanakis boxes him in, and now Korkamanakis has that apex, but can Sheehan sweep around the outside? Has he got better traction? Can he get the throttle down quicker? It doesn't seem like he can, but he's close enough to maintain a push down this straight. Possibly a move into the corner. No, it's not going to materialise for him, but it's very wide for Korkamanakis. That'll be a track extension warning there. And he just gives up the position, so...
It's very tense at the top, at the front end of this race. Cormac loses a bit of traction there, and Rares will get 5/10 on him. With the DRS, Cormac's hunting him down, and yet again, Bence is just waiting behind. Those hards are going to last longer than the softs and the mediums of his counterparts. So he can get the advantage on them in a couple of laps' time. Cormac gets the move done ahead of Rares, and he's going to keep the position. And I mean, DJ Perks isn't too far behind from this. If he gets the DRS on Bence, this could really heat up at the front, heat up more than it already is. Bence gets the move on Rares, and now Bence is going to chase down Cormac, and DJ Perks is in DRS of Rares. Bence gets the move done into first now, double overtake in the space of a couple of corners, and now Bence is into first. Cormac's now just going to sit behind. He's going to accept that he has lost a position, and Bence on those hards, they're going to last longer than Cormac's and Rares's. And I mean, the DRS is not going to help Bence, but he is now into first. I cannot hear Possum Man 11. Where has he gone?
That's not ideal, is it?
Were you muted the whole time?
Maybe.
I was thinking you can be a lot of time. Got a lot of time to speak, mate.
Toppy looking to get a position off Luigi's fan. I think he got it done. And he has indeed, so it's up to 12th for Toppy. Don't laugh at me. That was very painful.
Yeah, it probably was. You probably thought I was really just taking
Importantly, Fozzie up to
pee
8th
there.
as well. So big gains to be made for both, well, to be had for both AlphaTauri drivers. They're both making some real inroads on those ahead of them, and Cormac now looking for a move around the outside of Bence. He got it done before the braking zone. The question is can Bence now come back at him as they head down into club? I think. No. The simple answer is no. Bence decides that it's not worth going for a move. There's the possibility of damage, of course, as always is when you risk going down the inside of an opponent, and really he knows that his race is not necessarily being ahead on track at this moment, because he knows that come the end of the race it will all come to him. Smithy already off the soft compound. Well, I say already, we are on lap 9, so
Hugo has a
doesn't
terrible
make
exit.
sense
Now
that
Kosai jumps ahead of Hugo, goes into 8th place. Bit of a mistake from Hugo there. Poor exit. Kosai now looking to push for the podium, as I was told by
well, it was a very
Man
good
11.
start, wasn't it? But
Yeah, it was a great start, but he's got the comeback though, back into points.
yeah, he's
at
not
least.
in as bad a position as Matt is, so that's always a good thing. Matt on medium compound, of course, having pit on lap 1 for a damaged front wing. Cormac, interestingly, has lost a position to Jackson. I wonder when that came about, but either way, I do expect Cormac is likely to maybe pit this lap, because it does seem like the softs haven't got a whole lot of life left in them. But maybe as he goes around the outside at Stowe, he feels that there is performance left, that there's an advantage in there that's going to help him. So
DJ
he
Perks
sticks out for at least another lap.
DJ Perks
And behind him, DJ Perks is just starting to
in the DRS now.
pull in. Yeah, he's starting to pull into this fight that's going on. And of course, Rise has just been sitting off the back of these front two for a little bit now, a couple of laps, where he's just sat behind and let those medium tyres have a little bit of respite. For the fact there is no respite for those in the midfield, because Toppy is again in the ascendancy, but the 11th position is not necessarily as high up as he would hope to be this far into the race. We've seen how much he can gain in the opening laps, and we see how much Fozzie has gained as there's contact, there's a banging of wheels between Bence and Rares, but Rares now tries to stick to the inside. Bence is going to use ERS, and he's just got superior straight line speed to hang it around the outside at Copse. That's not a move you see often from the Ferrari man, but he's got it done, and he's got to stay within a second of Cormac to keep DRS, but he'll do so comfortably. And as they head out onto the Hanger Straight, it's just a little DRS train at the front of this field, with DJ Perks sitting behind on the hard compound in an equally good position as Benziaxo. They all concertina up at the apex of Stowe, and they head down into Club. Again, all backing into each other, and again Cormac doesn't pit, so I wonder if he's trying to stretch those softs to just go onto the mediums. I'm not sure how viable of a strategy that may be, but
Toppy's now ahead of
you never
Sheehan
know.
into points now for Toppy, and with Hugo and
As Fozzie pits
battling,
from 7th.
oh never mind. As Hugo and Kosai, I think, are battling. Yep, that is the correct two. I've got them. Toppy
Good job.
will will take that battling to his advantage here. I'm not using the right vocabulary
Yellow
there,
flag,
but
is that Brandon? As now for Romeo. Yeah,
Was
it's
it?
out
Oh,
for
no.
Romeo off at final corner. Brandon has not made a bit of a mistake, I think, number 76. And he's fallen down a couple of positions, but of course Fozzie pitting, he's going to gain that position. Matt now up as well, as they not as close as I thought they might be at the pit exit. Brandon's absolutely lit those hard tyres up, and they must be cooked, because he's spun again as they head into the second the
Bence has got
end
the
of the first sector.
top spot right now. Cormac just behind him, lost the position, but it's ever so close. It's probably
Also, Cormac now
Cormac
decides
now
to
pits,
pit,
yeah.
so he finally blinks, and it is the pit lane for Cormac. Cormac. Hugo also losing a position here. Toppy's turned up at this little fight that he might have been having with Kosai, and has just separated the two of them, you know, like a nice peacekeeper. A peacekeeper who's going to absolutely blitz both of them.
I thought you meant
I
a
believe
knife
down the straight.
splitting butter, to be fair, but
Yeah, well, that as well.
that was
Because, hey,
great.
both are equally as good. But
He might get
either way,
Kosai
Toppy
here.
gets a position off of Hugo, and now he is right on the gearbox of Kosai. Is there a move to the inside, maybe? Into Village they go, and I'm not 100% sure how long Kosai can hold him off, because Toppy's been on a charge all season when he started from the back, and I don't see that halting now. Down the Wellington Straight they go. One has DRS, one does not, and it's the Williams car that's going to be in trouble, as down the inside Toppy goes, and there's nothing Kosai can do about it. 6th position for Toppy, 7th for Kosai now, and Sheehan's managed to get a position off of Hugo in the background, so Sheehan's on a charge as well. He's done a pit stop, I believe. Either that, or he might have got caught up on something
No, he hasn't done a pit
early
stop.
in this race. He's not stopped, so Sheehan just getting
think,
involved
yeah,
in that melee
yeah.
that was the start of the race.
Mm.
Bence drops behind Rares, so Rares got the position off of Bence on the medium tyres. DJ's just behind the three of them. Well, I say that, but both Bence and Rares pit at the same time.
I've got to admit, there's a
And
lot
Rora's
of
got a
battles
5-second
going on
penalty, I
here in
think,
this
for
race. It's
speeding.
it's a very entertaining race with that battle between the top. Well, was a battle between the top 4, and now 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th are battling.
Interesting.
But now I think that's Toppy that has just pit.
So
Oh, 5 seconds. Speeding in the pit lane. That
speeding
is
in the
not ideal at all.
pit lane for Toppy, that's not ideal at all. HB currently
That's
in
what I
second
said.
in Mercedes, but DJ currently sits in first on the hard compound. I still don't quite understand why Bence was so quick off of the hards, unless he really had cooked them in that fight for the lead. And I'm not sure what happened with Rares at the pit entry, because he's lost a lot on his rival, and he also has a 5-second penalty for his travels. So it's an interesting little altercation that went on there, and I'm not 100% sure how clean it was. Either way, up to... Oh, Kosai's lost a position there to Sheehan. So Sheehan's managed to get through in the wake of Toppy pitting. Kosai was just left without DRS and left completely vulnerable, it appears, and it was a bit wide there from Sheehan going off the cops. You do wonder how close the majority of this grid are to penalties, because I say that and there's another penalty given out. Ducky in 11th position in the lead Haas car as it stands, and it's been a decent enough race for him. He's kept out of trouble, and really keeping out of trouble is what's keeping people in this race, because those at the front like Kosai and I wondered if there was a move for the lead there, but DJ Perks has pit now off the hards, so those hards don't seem to want to go a very long way, which is interesting. Cormac onto the medium, so he has done that soft to medium strategy that I was wondering if he was aiming for.
A lot of people with penalties now, and we have another look at the penalties. Rares with 5 seconds, Monkey D Brown with 6, Toppy with 5, Hugo with 6, Brandon with 6, and then quite a few with 3 seconds, but that will play a big part in the
Round the
overall
outside?
positionings
Round the
position
outside,
of this race.
Cormac has boxed, Kosai yet to box, Cormac around the outside on new medium tyres into Brooklands. I mean, it's a commendable move, but you do then wonder how much Kosai is going to drop back down the order once he has to pit off the hards, because it was not the ideal start for him. Or of course his teammate Matt down in 13th.
13th is still yet to pit.
And I think Luigi also yet to pit. I'll verify that
Yeah,
for you now.
yeah, he's still yet to pit.
So he is in the kind of position you'd sometimes expect him to be in, but that's offset by the fact he hasn't pit yet. He's likely to drop a fair way down the order. And you see how grouped together some of these drivers are. It is a long way down the order he's likely to drop, as Matt loses a position to Toppy on
Toppy double
fresh
overtake
tyres.
there. Wow, that was impressive.
I think
Weaved
Monkey's got
inside
a
of
position
Matt.
off of Matt, but
No, he doesn't.
oh no, Matt.
Yeah,
got straight back
wrong driver,
past
mate.
it,
Wrong
so-
driver. Yeah.
Yeah, they swapped for a moment, and I wondered,
No.
but no.
Toppy. Oh,
Monkey
he gets
D. Brown
fast
yet
up
to
as
pit.
well. Monkey D. Brown has yet to pit as well. He's yet to pit.
That's
About
what I
half
said.
the drivers left, yeah. Well, the Hasses have not had the best
Because
race
the
so
spread
far.
of penalties there. There's a surprising amount for speeding in the pit lane. One for Rares, one for Toppy, and then, well, I'll say that, 2. But then there's a couple of drivers further down the order who've got a decent amount of track limits penalties already.
Isn't that why I said a
Kosai
couple of
losing
minutes
out
ago?
more positions there to DJ and Bence. Yeah, so he is currently just falling backwards at a rate of knots. He's got Smithy behind him in DRS.
Rogers is looking to
Things
get the
aren't going
overtake
so
on
smoothly
Luigi
now. Well, they weren't going so smoothly
into
to
8th.
begin with, but DJ looking around the outside of Benciac, he's been left room, and it becomes the inside, and he'll take the apex at club corner, and he'll take 4th position with HBE and Surface ahead of him yet to box. That is provisional P2 for the Aston Martin, the current Aston Martin reserve. And as I said, Surface is in the pits, and DJ's promoted to P3.
Our
Luigi's
only
then not
driver
pitting yet
currently on the
either.
softs is Sir with face. Now we'll drop a
He's
couple
got
of
the
positions.
softs. Can the softs get to the end from here? You'd assume they probably can, and
Yeah.
that would be the aim of HBE and probably
Possai
also
and Luigi
Kosai and Luigi.
and Monkey
So-
D-Brand.
I
Oh,
think there was a position gain. DJ
DJ
with a
Perks.
3-second penalty now. That's gonna possibly be a factor in this run-in, but of course, you see the penalties beginning out now. There's a good portion of this race left, 10 laps or so, for the drives around him to pick up penalties themselves, and it can all even out again very quickly. Especially if Benciasso is pushing to try and gain some time here.
can I just say about the position change? HBE, obviously, I know he's yet to pit, but he has moved up 11 positions. Fozzie also has moved up 11 positions. Toppy, of course, he's moved up big chunk of positions, in 9 positions in the end. But a lot of drivers have lost out massively, Seb Face being one. Matt has only lost out 3, but it feels like he should not be down 11th. And then obviously those 3 at the bottom, Ducky, Chaz and Brandon, as expected. Matt loses another position. Oh, that might have just been lag, but looks like he just lost control there. And he's not even in DRS of Sir with face. If you look further up the grid, Aston Martin, this is going to be huge points for Aston Martin if they can just keep what they're doing up. Both have stopped once, but Smithy pitted early, so I don't think the mediums are going to last another 10 laps, bringing the mediums up to 18 laps. I don't know. He's now chasing down his teammate, DJ Parks. Will he go for a move? He gets the move done. And what's happened to Benciasso? I was
position
waffling.
lost, I think, against DJ, but I don't know if that was a mistake. I wasn't really paying attention.
I don't know either. No, I'm really confused.
Message one of my mates and explain that they are just a bit.
I
dim
thought
sometimes.
that Aston Martin, I thought it was an Aston Martin 4-5, and then DJ Parks overtake. What? Well, Smithy wasn't even near DJ Parks. I'm not sure. I think I was mistaking Bence for Smithy. Ben's not going fourth though. Poppy's up tonight with his teammate Fozzie, who is likely to offer more of a points charge than high caliber, which will help in the constructors. But 8-9, is that good enough really?
Well, there are moves going on, and one of those is DJ Perks. He's lost the position to Benciak, so around Luffield, and now they'll head down the old pit straight, which may or may not. I'm not sure what that straight's called, because I know one of them's the Hamilton straight, but I think that's just the actual pit straight. Either way, DJ Perks is all over the diffuser of the Ferrari, and as they head through Maggots and then Beckett's and down to the hangar straight, I think there was possibly a track extension warning there for DJ, getting a little bit over the line, but he'll get the position back with DRS, that rear wing open, and he'll get the benefit of the higher top speed. Round Stowe he goes, and maybe it slingshots him towards Cormac ahead of him, because Cormac's not too far ahead. 1.4 is the gap, but that becomes 1.3 as they head out of the final corner. Well, ish. And of course, with a 3-second penalty, DJ's got a fair bit to make up if those around him can keep it clean themselves.
Do you think HB just goes to the full race without pitting?
He can't. That's not legal.
Oh,
You have to use 2 different compounds unless it's a wet race, and then you can just use the inters or the
Damn.
full extreme wet style race. So
Well-
he has to use another set of tyres, and of course the softs would be that aim.
Yeah.
But you do wonder how long he aims to.
I
go
mean, it
into
looks
this
like it
race
might be
before
wet.
going for the soft.
Looks like it might start to rain here. It hasn't already.
Maybe that's what he's going for, because we can't see the weather, of course, but it does look a little overcast. Now you mention it.
Yeah, I mean,
So is
Kosai
there a possibility
pit
with dynamic
onto the
weather
softs.
available, and of course, with Silverstone being in a natural open area where it used to be an airfield, so
Just in Britain, mate. It's just in England. It's really
and it is also
poor weather.
in the middle of the British Isles, so
Yeah.
rain is very common, and
Like
of
a
course
high
HB,
winds.
if he is aiming to go long, then you can already see it is starting to look even dimmer and grimmer as we head through this
I like
lap
that.
with
I like that a lot.
Mercedes, Matt. I don't
Dimmer
like
and
the fact
grimmer.
I had to say grimmer, because that is not a word, or it doesn't feel like a word.
I think it is.
Well, we'll go with it.
Well,
Either
overall
way.
feel is Matt is now on the softs, fresh softs, so he'll be chasing people in front. But I'm not. I mean,
Bence is
it doesn't
left,
look like he's gonna
so I wonder
get
if that's a
points here.
disconnect from him. I'll just invite him quick.
Well, that's not ideal for his race. Poppy's made it up to 7th, but he
I was
is
just
miles
sound
away from
invites and
Smithy.
requests. We will ignore that. Absolute melt. Alright. I think there's a move. Hugo gains a position on Ducky Motorsport, and they are quite close to each other, so I wonder if Ducky can try and get his position back. Hugo with 9 seconds of penalties. Things have not been clean for
Naughty
him.
boy.
Ducky with 8.
But
So
Cormac gets to move on HB. Sorry to interrupt you there, but there's far more important things going on in this race right now.
HB
Cormac
losing
gets to
another
move.
position as well, so I think he sees that those hard tyres have got no performance left in them, and he can't hang with those at the front. It's just a case of when does that rain come? Does it come? Because that seems to be what he's holding out for.
I mean, if he had a normal pit strategy, he'd be about mid-table, I think. But now if he pit,
Well, I think
he still might be mid-table. But
assuming that someone would be mid-table in this race is quite an assumption in itself, because we've had a lot of incidents and a lot of
yeah, he's lost another
things that
position
have gone
as well.
on. Which
I would pit.
he does pit now, but
Interesting
what
to
is
see.
the compound that he jumps onto?
Probably onto softs. I can't lie because it
I
doesn't
assume
look
the
like
softs would be the option, because it does
wet.
look grim. Yep, the extreme wet tyre for HBE.
He's
What's
messed
playing
up.
on? Well, no, it is the soft compound. The gamble doesn't necessarily pay off.
Bence is out.
Tyres. Is that? It seems to have just chosen to retire. That's strange. That is really strange. Seems like he's just hit retire from session, and of course he did, like DNF. Well, he disconnected a second ago. I invited him back. He seemed to join back, but now he's
That's
Ow.
huge in the constructors. Toppy, I mean,
Toppy
with
up to
5th though,
fifth, and
will
Fozzie
that-
up to 6th as well for the constructors, with Sheehan just wallowing down in 9th. There's a big points haul coming AlphaTauri's way, and a big points haul coming Aston Martin's way, because of course they've both got reserves driving for them, but those points do count towards the constructors.
Yeah.
As we watch DJ Perks head to the inside of Cormac, and the position is his. Of course, DJ Perks also part of and so is Matt Copper 97 also in but
Be
Matt Copper
quiet,
97
please.
currently just picking off a couple of positions.
but
to
will it
try
be
and
enough
back
to get
points?
points?
But 11 seconds being the gap between Ducky and Luigi, that's surely too much for Matt to span, even if he can get the position off of Ducky. So it looks like there'll be no points for him, and Kosai down in 10th. Only a couple of laps for him to get those softs working, but he's close enough maybe to Sheehan that there's a point or so extra up for grabs
yeah.
for him.
But in the constructors, this is
HBE
huge race.
surprisingly has managed to come out in 8th, so that is a cracking job from him. I was expecting to be even further down the order, but
Also,
the pace on those
surprisingly,
hards is admirable, and he's managed
Hugo
to come out
gets
at the
another
upper
penalty.
end of the midfield.
Hugo gets another penalty, which is
That's
very
another one for
surprising.
Hugo.
Yeah.
He's collecting them like Pokemon out there. 12 seconds is the number now. Will it be 15 by next lap?
But
you never really
yeah,
know. But Fozzie's getting
constructors.
closer to Toppy.
I think he's been like this for a while though. Toppy just been.
He's
sitting
been
in front
close,
of him.
but 3/10 is not as close as I've seen it. He's been within DRS, but
He's got
he
ERS
is
to
getting
work
closer
with
and
as well.
closer.
So does Toppy, but looks like Fozzie's using that ERS.
Smithy also close to Rares, but they both have penalties, and of course Toppy with that monster penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This position is Fozzie's whether he makes the move on track or not, and that surely will play into his mind. As around the outside goes DJ Perks at Stowe. Is that Stowe? I'm not too sure.
I thought he had
yeah.
I thought he had the position anyway. So it looks like Cormac's gone for a move and then been unsuccessful.
He
Oh,
managed
Cormac
to hold it,
spins!
and Cormac spins.
Wow.
I'll stand with him, sit with him, because I wonder if he does reverse the track or if he chooses to reset. But
Oh,
either way, I wonder if he just tried to flick spin that.
Not
I'm
ideal for
sure.
Alpine
I think
at
he has
all.
tried to flick spin it a couple of times,
didn't see
but
left.
in the wall he goes, and he's just left. So
wow,
the
that is
rage
not
quit
ideal for Alpine whatsoever.
Cormac, and
From fourth, that is
does
terrible.
give. It's a double DNF for Alpine, and the drivers they had in this race, you would hope for so much more. Promotes Fozzie to 5th, Toppy to 4th,
Matt has a
Kossai
chance.
to 8th, and maybe now Matt has a... No way. But
We're not ideal for Williams this race either. So Williams in that little
50
battle.
seconds? That can't be right.
Nah, but in the
if you saw
constructors,
that. Okay,
I saw it as well. In the constructors, Ferrari clear, but it's a terrible race for Ferrari as Sheehan will probably get some low-level points. The penalties on his penalty, but Alpha Tauri,
Luigi's
big
got
4-5
soft tyres, so
them.
Luigi has hammer time for the Mercedes man.
Maybe he's going to get his customary
with
couple
3
of points
laps
a
or so.
race.
There's a couple of points on offer maybe if he can get within 3 seconds of Sheehan.
Yeah, but
Sheehan getting
Alpha
quite close
Tauri,
to...
man, Alpha Tauri, brilliant display
Well,
for
Sheehan's
them.
getting very close to Kossai even. So, of course, Kossai on the soft compound himself, but he would have... I think he maybe actually just got that position off of Sheehan because they're not too far apart, and I do not recall Kossai being behind HBE, but maybe I am just tripping major nuts as
Tripping.
Daniel Ricciardo would say.
Oh.
But
Well, in the constructors though, big movement's going to happen with Alfa Romeo,
Fozzie
despite
again just sitting
despite
3 tenths behind Toppy. He's
Brandon.
showing Toppy that he has the pace to stay with him,
points.
and just making sure that Toppy's aware he's there. Further back, things seem to have stagnated somewhat, but
3 drivers are out.
those
double
further back
digit
are
seconds.
quite a way
yeah,
apart.
double digit seconds away. So not much going to happen back there. McLaren, no points for them this race.
I mean, you'd think maybe the action is here with the 2 Alpha Tauris, but I don't think they're likely to fight each other unless a move is coming pretty free for Fozzie, because there's no reason to risk any damage here. Although maybe actually it is in his best interest to go for a move as quickly as possible, because if he can get this position off of Toppy and he gets the hammer down and he goes as like nothing's business, he's got Smithy in front of him with 6 seconds of penalties, and he's 6.6 seconds up the road from Toppy. The position is his. He gets it done before the braking zone at Stowe, and now he's got to put his foot to the floor because Smithy hasn't got a lot of ERS to work with, and to be fair, Fozzie's not got much more, but 6.4 is the gap, and he needs to be within that 6-second window. So there is a podium up for grabs for Fozzie, starting, I think it was second last for him in this race, and someone pulls to the inside. I think that's Brandon a lap down. It looked like it was, but behind, I think someone goes really wide at turn 1. So
I mean,
a couple
constructors
of drivers
big,
further back having a bit of a
big
mare.
Movement in the constructors. You know, Rares
Sheehan getting very close to Kossai,
P2
but of course
right
he
now.
has to get this move done and pull a 3-second gap, and that's highly unlikely given we've got a lap and a bit to go as they head through the first sector into Village Lego. He's getting closer and closer, but Kossai's just got to hold on, and even if he does lose out on the position, he's just got to stick with
So with face
Sheehan.
could get
I think maybe Toppy goes for this move here.
So with face could get Toppy on penalties because Toppy's 5 seconds more
I think that's
penalties.
what they might have just realised, because they're now both, Toppy and Fozzie are both comfortably, well I say comfortably, 6 tenths isn't necessarily comfortable. But they're within Smithy's 6-second penalty, and now Toppy has got to go for it himself because they seem to have inverted positions once again. He's got 46% of ERS to dump, and he has to dump it if he wants any hope of getting out of.
Well, that's not ideal, is it?
Well, now he's got to stay ahead of HBE because that's going to be quite close there. He's about 9 seconds back, give or take a couple attempts.
If I just say,
has got to go for it.
Aston Martin in the constructors, they were 9th before, joint 9th with Haas.
This is going to be huge for them.
This is huge to get themselves probably with Mercedes, and then they can push on to try and work their way up into that battle.
Kong will be very pleased that it wasn't even his reserves that got him any points, because on a technicality, DJ's a Williams reserve and Smithy's an AlphaTauri reserve.
So someone told you about DJ being a Williams reserve and not getting points for Williams. I see.
Well, it would be nice if he was in a Williams, wouldn't it? But
instead of Matt in 11,
I just think it's funny that
Kosai and Sheehan are the only two people really battling here.
Aston drivers, and it's a big battle. But he does leave the room. Kosai, they bang wheels, so there's no real respect given there from Sheehan or Kosai as they try and.
Of course, I will get the position over
The position
Sheehan.
is comfortably Sheehan's, but I think come the end of that lap, as you say, Kosai will be going home with a couple more points than Sheehan, as long as he can stay within 3 seconds, which seems very likely. Toppy's gone for a move on Smithy, has he, or has Smithy's just dropped back a couple of positions? Is he low fuel? Is that low fuel for Smithy?
No. Tyre. Look at his tyre. Front right tyre.
Oh, has he got a puncture?
He's got a puncture. Aurora with a 5-second time penalty. I can't see.
For unserved penalty? Is that overtaking under yellow flags?
No, that was the speeding in the pit lane. DJ Perks wins the race, but I'm not sure what's going on right now.
Surely not. It can't be speeding in the pit lane because you just get a 5-second penalty for that. It would be a drive-through that he's not served.
Wow.
No, it wouldn't, because a drive-through's way more than 5 seconds.
Well,
Unserved
Sheehan
penalty.
could lose the position to Luigi.
Maybe it is giving back a position. Failed to. It must be overtaking under yellow flags.
Luigi will just get 10th, and Matt 11th. William nightmare. Well, Kosai gets 8th.
But there you have it. It all
points in the
kicked
bag.
off at the end. HBE with 4th position. He gains
Fair
quite
play.
a lot from the penalties of those ahead of him. And given that stint on the hard compound, he deserved that kind of finish. It's a win for DJ, nonetheless, and that of those in qualifying who looked like they would be dominating that top 10, there was the likes of DJ, Rares, and then you had Toppy, Kosai, Sheehan probably up there, Matt, and then behind them in the finishing order, you Cormac, Bence, and Jacob all not finishing. They were all up there in qualifying. So you see this finishing order. It doesn't really do the race justice, because
Brilliant race.
It's been a cracker.
Yeah.
And now the rain starts to fall, so as they head back to the pits.
Had a 23 point lead on Toppy, but now with Toppy getting, was it 4th, 5th? Now that's going to be really reduced, and Toppy will be right behind Bence in the constructors now. I mean, behind him though, Jacob, Matt out of positions. Rares will be comfortably 3rd, comfortably podium in the drivers' standings. Huge race from Rares. Wow, that was a good race. Very good race. AlphaTauri, a very good session today. So similarly with Aston Martin as well. Let's see who else has had a good. I mean, HB and Fozzy, excellent races from them. Smithy, I mean, low fuel mode. Was it Smithy? Low fuel
Well,
mode
it was
at
a
the end.
puncture. It was a puncture
yeah,
for
it was a
Smithy, you
puncture,
pointed it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
It's fastest lap for Toppy, so he gets that extra point, which does help him out in the Drivers' Championship, although it does end up only being 6th position for him. Only given he started at the back. But
DJ Perks will have a massive, first place is a massive haul, and that will put him about 8th, I think. I think it's 8th. And Kosai will move up a couple of positions as well into that 13th, 12th spot. But further up, huge race in terms of constructors and huge race in terms of drivers.
I
And it
would
was,
just leave that there.
yeah.
I reckon.